when it comes to LinkedIn, in my team, we have a philosophy. So our philosophy of LinkedIn is that we never post without an infographic or without an image. Personally, I've tried both. I see lots of creators that say that they're able to go viral pretty regularly with just like pure text post. But what I've seen is that if there's a visual attached to whatever I write, the likelihood the post go viral increase 3 to 5x. And so there is a reason for that. I'm just gonna like showcase my LinkedIn feed just to explain this point. One thing you'll notice is that you usually see the first couple of lines. So you see Eric Nowosowski, who's like a very good GTM expert. So we see like the first 2 lines, you've got the see more button, and then you have the image. And so what you see is like it occupies a certain amount of space. And because it didn't respect the optimal LinkedIn format, it doesn't take as much space as it could. And so if I were him, or if I were advising him on his LinkedIn strategy, I would tell him, instead of like just putting this plain screenshot, do like a 1050 times 1380 image, because then what will happen is that it will take the entire screen. So here, for example, okay, this is a good example. You see, this is a vertical image. And so if you look at the page, then the entirety of the page is Frank's post. And so the thing that you want to do is, if you think about someone browsing their feed, you want to try to grab their attention, and you want to think about LinkedIn like a funnel. So usually what happens is that the first thing you see is the image. So I'm browsing my feed, I see the image. So this is where you want to have like an image that grabs attention, because it serves as actually the first hook even before the hook. So up, you've got the image. Now I stop my scroll and I'm like, what is this all about? And this is where I'm reading the first 2 lines, which is the hook. And obviously, like when you write the hook, what you want to do is you want to optimize, or like you want the people to click on the see more button, because then there's a chance they'll read the entirety of the post and take action on this. So here, if we were to analyze Frank's post here, I think it's a pretty strong hook, because he said, made it to LinkedIn Analytics yet again. So for those who don't know what LinkedIn Analytics is, it's a subreddit where people share cringe publications from LinkedIn. And as you know, LinkedIn is a pretty cringe platform, which is actually the reason why it's such a great opportunity, because, just as a small parenthesis, the fact that you have such cringe content, but that is the only platform that professionals can browse during the day without being shouted at by their boss. Because if you think about it, if you were scrolling Instagram and your boss sees you, they'll have an issue with you. If you were scrolling Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, they'll usually have an issue with you. But if you scroll LinkedIn, at least you can pretend you were doing some work, right? So what usually happens is you have cringe content on one hand. On another hand, you've got the only platform that people with budget can scroll during the day without being shouted at. And this creates the biggest opportunity on LinkedIn. So now you use infographics to grab attention. The first 2 lines, what you want to do is you want to create some sort of shock element. So what I like to do is I like to use some very clickbaity headlines. And people hate clickbaits, but there's one thing about clickbait is that as long as you deliver, there's no problem. So for example, if I were talking about my own story, say the story of Code Like You, I could say something along the lines of, I grew to 6 million ARR by only posting on LinkedIn, And then obviously, like, as people click on the see more button, I'm going to explain what I'm talking about. And then I'll end with some sort of call to action. So image is the first thing that I do. Second, it would be the hook. And when it comes to the hook, one thing I advise is to put some numbers. Because like an usual mistake I see from people, and perhaps we can see one in the feed, is that people like will give some advice, but they won't explain why listen to their advice specifically. So for example, here we have like this hook from Mikey Ho, who says most B2B founders are writing content for the wrong people. They write only for layer 4 active buyers. So I see this post doesn't have that much engagement. And if I were writing the hook, I would be thinking, okay, here he wants to talk about LinkedIn content and he leads with a statement, but the question he doesn't answer in the first 2 lines is why listen to him specifically. So in this instance, I actually know Mikey, so I know that he has a LinkedIn content agency that's called Content Path. That's a 7-figure agency, which means that they've worked with, say, 20 plus clients. And so if I were writing the hook, I would actually try to mention some social proof, because the question I want to answer is not why you should read the post, is why you should read it from me. So I would say something along the lines of, I could say the first line, like, most B2B founders are writing content for the wrong people. And then under brackets, I would say something along the lines of, I helped 10 founders reach K followers, just so that you sort of validate that I know what I'm talking about, you know. And then usually, like, there's like the body of the post. Here's something he does pretty well. That, like, it's spacey. So now what you want to avoid is, you want to avoid the post being crowded. You want to use like some white space so that, like, it's much easier to read. And then you want to end with some call to action, which usually gonna be some sort of ad. So like, oh, this is exactly what we build at Content Pad. So like, it's adding a call to action towards this company. Or you want to do a call to conversation where you want to ask a question, so that it entices people to comment on the post. And obviously, the more comments there are on the post, the more likely the post is going to go viral. As a sum up, an effective LinkedIn post, to me, the main ingredients, and like, let's take one as an example so that we can do it live. So this post is a cheat sheet, cloud code for outbound sales. This got 73,000 impressions. So obviously, like, you want to be talking about a topic that's interesting to people. As you know, everybody on LinkedIn is talking about cloud code for whatever, right? So cloud code, trendy topic. Then you want to think about the combination of the visual and the hook. Here, it's a nice infographic, and obviously, like, we put cloud code as the main title. It's pretty big. So because you see it as the main title, you know that it's gonna be about this topic, and the sort of nice design with colors makes you sort of stop on the feed. And then you want to lead with a hook that's gonna be sort of effective. And so here, if you do some cold email, you know the pain of going through, like, of how much time it takes to create cold email campaigns. So this is why I said building cold email campaigns used to take hours, and I'm contrasting that, saying Cloud Code builds them in minutes, right? Now you want to know, how can I build campaigns with Cloud Codes in minutes? Well, I'm explaining it to you. Then when it comes to the post, once again, you see, like, you want to make it breathable. So it's not going to be like a long block of text. I like to use numbers. Why? Because you might not be interested in all the points, but I want to maximize the odds of you reading at least part of the post. So you might, like, read the first tagline. You might say, like, build your company list. Okay, I know how to do this. Scroll into your accounts. I know how to do this. Later buying signals. Oh, okay, like, I'm interested in reading this one. So like, now you are reading the paragraph. And so you see, like, I'm using bullet points. Like, I'm trying to make it, like, very structured. So you have the whole thing. And then here at the end, so here I edited the post, but I like to do some sort of, like, call to comments. It's gonna be by sharing a free resource. So like, the tool, the post, sorry, is value packed. But at the end, I'm saying, hey, we recorded a 40-minute video breakdown that shows exactly how you can do so. Just comment cloud code and you'll get it. Then, like, because it had like a good amount of comments, I just edited and then I put the link. But then I think that if we were to look at the most recent comments, we would see people commenting, I can say, video, please, some things along these lines. Video posts, I think, are the best. Just so you know, like, on LinkedIn likes infographics in terms of overall reach. But the question is about your reach, it's about conversions, right? And so one thing I love about video is that if you are showcasing some demo walkthrough, what will usually happen is that you will get some people that will tell you, okay, like, this is exactly what I want to implement. So if I do a nice infographic with a nice schema, you understand it, but you're not so sure about my ability to deliver what I'm talking about. But let's say I'm showcasing some outbound workflow in video, it might be the exact thing you want to implement within your business. So perhaps the reach is divided by 2. And I would say that the reach of video is perhaps, like, from my experience, 30% less than image. But because I'm demoing exactly what you want to do, my overall conversion rate is much higher. And also, the thing about video is that they are much more difficult to copy, because you'll see, like, as soon as your LinkedIn strategy starts working, and lots of people are gonna copy you. Times and days to publish on LinkedIn. This one I got from Pierre Rubel. So Pierre Rubel is like this B2B marketer that has 150K plus followers on LinkedIn. He goes viral, like, pretty much every day. And I was taking some consulting from him 1.5 years ago, and he told me, you want to think about LinkedIn like your TV show. He says, every day you post at the exact same time. And it actually doesn't even matter the time you post, but it's important you post on the same day. And I was asking him all sorts of questions. Why would I even do this? Like, it sounds dumb to me. But then you know what? I thought, let's not try to be too smart. Let me listen to this guy who's got like twice the amount of followers I have, and let me just do it. And since I started posting on the same day, my engagement just increased a lot. Just so you know, I post usually around 12:30 European time every single day. So perhaps there's gonna be some minutes of difference, but like it's usually in this time window. And if you look at some big creators, some other big creators, like you'll notice that there is like a pattern where like it's almost always at the exact same time. So like time doesn't matter that much, but the fact that it's always at the same time is the most important.